Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our tech training session for today. I am Teacher Jean, and together with Teacher Joe and Teacher Angie from Good Shepherd Cathedral School, we are going to walk you through creating, personalizing, sharing, and generating results from your Google form. Later on, we are also going to share with you an online tool that you can use together with your learners to create an engaging online learning environment. So we hope that you stay with us throughout the entire video and let's have an afternoon full of learning and deepening of our technological skills. Let's go! These are the questions that we aim to answer today. Hopefully, we can clear these out by the end of our session. Like Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides, Google Forms is another productivity tool offered by Google free of charge. Sa mga co-teachers natin dyan who have piously attended webinars and took online classes since March, I trust that you have encountered Google Forms numerous times already. Familiar samples of this is the survey conducted by RCBNES last month to know the technological capacity of our teachers and staff. Another is the evaluation at the end of the Tech O'Clock webinar series. And lastly, the online registration form of 𝘎𝑼𝙑𝙑 for their webinar series in YouTube and also in Facebook. For certificates that we have yet to receive, pero sabi nga po nila, hintay-hintay lang daw po tayo, right? In a regular class setting, we usually create our assessments and survey forms using Microsoft Word. We print it out and then we cut hundreds of trees to make thousands of papers for photocopying. But now that we are switching to online learning, we can go paperless and do our assessments and surveys online. Imagine, our reach is now expanded to students who are physically far, far from us. Now the question is, why use Google Forms? Number 1, it allows you to collect information easily and efficiently. Period. That's very easy to understand. Number 2, instead of time-consuming formatting, aligning, and reproducing, Google Forms offers easy ways to create various types of items. We'll explore them one by one later. And lastly, you can tabulate the results with just one click. See, easy peasy lemon squeezy. When selecting an online tool, of course, accessibility should be one of our top considerations. Teachers, parents, and students alike can access, create, and answer Google Forms using their laptop, desktop, and tablets. But for those who have none of the devices that I have mentioned, fret not, because Google Forms can still be accessed as long as they have a smartphone. Let's now move on to our target skills for today and for your assessment as well. You can either focus on our demo video or explore Google Forms and create with us simultaneously. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's start. Let's start by opening your browser. Preferably, your Google account is already logged in. Search for Google Forms and then go to Google Forms. Or you can also use the shortcut forms.new. This will lead you directly to a new untitled Google form. You can see how clean and basic the interface is. We have the title on the top left and common icons all around to guide you on what you can do here in Google Forms. Let's begin by deciding if this will be a survey or a quiz. If you're making it a quiz, edit the title. Everything you do will be automatically saved in all Google productivity tools. Go to Settings, Quizzes, and then make it a quiz. This will allow you to give points, control when to release grades, and choose what your learners will see after they respond. And check the correct answers to allow them to go back and try to correct their mistakes. Let's add more details. The first item should be a short answer for them to input their name. Turn on the required button to make sure that your learners will not skip this item. Let's add another item using the paragraph format. Type in a question or a text you want them to reflect on. This type of question does not have a specific prescribed answer, but you can put a feedback that they will receive after they respond to this. Again, required. For the next format, this looks family. Multiple choice. Let's type in a sample araling panlipunan question. Anong pangkat ang binuo ng ating pamahalaan upang maging kasangkapan, susukat, susubaybay at gagawa ng mga hakbanging pipigil sa paglaganap, not only COVID but other infectious disease as well. This will measure their knowledge on acronyms of government offices and agencies. So let's type the options. DFA, we have 𝘬𝘇, and lastly, 𝑖ATF-EID. And then click the answer key button on the left side to designate 1 point for this question and then choose the correct answer. Of course, it's 𝑖ATF-EID. Then click done. Let's use another format called checkboxes. It is almost similar with the multiple choice but with a different shape. Instead of circles, there will be boxes that will be checked if chosen. What are the measures implemented by our government to stem the transmission of COVID-19 pandemic? We have curfew, martial law, mass testing, cloud seeding, required wearing of face mask. So as you can see here, I made 5 options. You can have more than one correct answers in multiple choice and check boxes and consequently designate more points. Next format that we'll try is the drop boxes. Here, instead of seeing the options right there, your learners will only see a bar that they need to click to show the list of options. I want my learners to refer to an image to answer this question. So I click the image icon on the right side, look for the photo, and then open it. Please look carefully. As you can see, the image appeared as another item after the question. I want them together, so I erase this and then click the other image option closest to the question. Then repeat the process earlier. Let's see. And there you have it, the question on top and the image just below it. Let's input our options. Yes, because it shows the cumulative record of COVID-19 cases in our country. And the other option is no, because it does not, a typographical error, it does not show the actual number of confirmed cases in on a daily basis. So answer key, let's designate 1 point for this, and then the correct answer should be no, and then done. I'll get back to that typographical option later. The next format is a linear scale. There are items wherein we just want to tap on their personal opinion on the matters at hand. So just like this question, how satisfied are you with the government's actions and measures against the COVID-19 pandemic. So let's put 1, being the least, not satisfied at all, and 5, for extremely satisfied. No need to give a point value for this item, but still require them to respond. Let's move on to multiple choice grid. In this format, there are rows and columns that can be used for sorting or classifying. For example, tell whether the following services fall under essential or non-essential services during the General Community Quarantine or GCQ. Again, we have the modified ECQ and modified GCQ at this point. We put the services on the rows and the classification on the columns. Require an answer for each row means requiring your learners to classify all the items on the left side. Click Answer key to choose the correct answer and to designate points for each row. Theme parks, non-essential, then hardware store, and the others. Moving on, the checkbox grid format, again, is just the same with the multiple choice grid format. To show you, I will just duplicate the previous question using this icon and then make it into a checkbox grid format. When you duplicate, the answer key and point values are copied as well. We're down to our last 2 formats. This one requires an answer with complete month, day, and year. So again, we now have MECQ and MGCQ. Turn on required, while the last format, which is time format, requires your learners to give a specific period of time. There you go. And of course, our students come from different places, so they might have different curfew time or curfew schedule. I think we have covered all items that Google Form has, and as you can see on the top, the total score for this quiz is 15 already. So we are done editing. Let's move on to customizing using the paint palette on top. For the header, you can either choose from the readily available ones or upload your own photo. Click Insert. Now, select your preferred theme color or the highlight on top of the title. You can change your background color as well. And lastly, the font style. You can either go decorative, formal, or playful, but for younger learners, we opt to choose this to give it a lesser serious tone. We are now ready to preview our quiz by clicking the eye icon. This preview allows you to check on the grammar and content of your quiz. We should aim to give accurate and foolproof assessments and resources, especially now that everything will be uploaded online. These materials will be put under stricter scrutiny of stakeholders, so I suggest you try to answer it first to see firsthand any problems that your learners might encounter as they answer your quiz. If everything is good, let's go to the settings. Tweak the general and presentation settings. You can limit your student to respond only once, but this will require their email ad. So to make it accessible to everyone, don't check those boxes. Here, you choose if the questions will be shuffled to make sure that each learner will answer a varied set from the others. You can also edit what will appear at the end of their quiz. Click Save. Alright, are we all set? Now that you're done editing, customizing, and previewing your form, let's check the other settings. Hindi pa tayo magsisend. If you want other teachers to have access to this quiz and its results, add them as collaborators. Type in their Google account and then set as editor. A notification will be sent to them. Another feature of Google Forms is the wide array of their add-ons. These are additional functions that will help you make the most of your form. Just choose which one you need and then install it. A sample of this is the form limiter. On the first installation, you'll need to refresh this tab. Let's refresh this first. Click on the add-on icon. When you set the limiter, it allows you to set the deadline and limit the number of responses. Today, we'll use it to select the due date and time of this quiz. Once it reaches the due date and time, this quiz will automatically stop accepting responses. So if you're done, click Save and Enable. And give it time to load. Let's minimize this. Finally, we are ready to send this quiz out into the world. You can send this to specific persons by inputting their email ad over there, or you can use the link, shorten it, copy, and then paste it to your group chat or embed it to your LMS. Alright, we did it. At this point, we have conquered the tricky part. Do not worry if you're not the techie type of person, because the latest programs or app makers make their interface non-threatening to users and easy to navigate and at most assistive. The icons are already commonly used in other apps, which gives you a sense of familiarity. So do not be afraid to explore. We now have gathered some responses. Click that tab and it will lead you to 3 options. First is the summary. You will see here graphs of the frequency of answers. Next tab shows you the details of responses for, per question. And lastly, and let's move on to the last. This tab shows you the details of responses per individual. As promised, here in Google Forms, you can tabulate results with just one click using this green icon. Click here. It allows you to create a spreadsheet with the details of your learners and their responses. We have tackled Google Sheets last week, so I trust that you're familiar with this view already. This will automatically be saved to your Google Drive, but if you have a specific folder in mind, okay, you can move it here using this icon. You can move it there using this icon. Just find the folder there. Or you can also create a new folder right there. Yan, using that icon. And then put the title of the new folder and click Move Here. This Google Sheet will be directly moved to that folder that you have just made. So here are some additional pointers that we want to share with you. Just go back to your quiz, go to the last item, and then click the double bar icon. This icon is for creating another section or part. You can divide your form into sections. If you have quite a long survey or assessment, sectioning them will make it lighter for your learners. It's like taking the test one page at a time. For demonstration's sake, let me put short quiz in math here. Now, instead of typing one by one, I will use this icon to import or use items that are already available from the previous quiz that I made. Just select the existing quiz you will import from and voila! A pop-up window on the side will appear and show you the items you can get. So select the ones that you need, this, and this, and then, let's remove that, click Import Questions. Again, give it time to load, and there you have it. The items you have selected are now imported to this quiz. However, please note that any changes you make on the form will not be applied to the link that you have already shared with your students. So you will need to provide a new link of the edited form. Kaya nga, as much as possible, double, triple check before sending it out to your learners. We are now done with Google Forms. Let's move on to the other online tool we promised. Search for Padlet.com. You can sign up using your Google account. Like this. Type in your Google account, password, and then choose basic. Dun tayo sa may forever. And welcome to Padlet. Another clean interface with colored options for easy navigation. Let's make a Padlet. These are the formats you can choose from. This looks like Pinterest. Hello, ba't na si ate girl? This one is a free-flowing concept chart. This looks like Instagram. Ito naman ay parang Tumblr, no? This one is a map. It could be for places or you can also put concepts there. And lastly, a timeline chart. Ayan. You can use this in different subjects. So let's create a wall Padlet. Here you go. Edit the title of your wall here. And then the description or instruction. In discussion boards like this, always remind your learners to be courteous and respectful to one another. Yan. You can choose to put an icon beside the title or none if you don't want to. So So let's use the magnifying glass icon. And then you can edit the link of this Padlet, so it will be easy for your students to go to. Customize the appearance of this wall. Minoleki. Ayan. There are other customized tools. Attribution, if you want to know who posted a certain post or comment. And then turn on comments for interaction. You can allow reactions like these to encourage support and provide reinforcement. However, learners whose post garnered no reaction from peers might be discouraged to share in the future. So, I won't use this much. Your Padlet is set and ready to receive posts and comments. Just share the link to your learners. And, ayan, these are the icons, other icons on top. You'll be able to see their post real time. And if you want to save this discussion board, go to share. And at the bottom, you will find different saving options. I'll publish this one as PDF, landscape, and it will look like this, a compact version of your discussion board. That is all for Padlet and Google Forms. We thank you so much for being with us today. To the seasoned teachers and to the greenhorns as well, keep exploring. Let us rethink and relearn our ways as we go into the unfamiliar path of the new normal. God bless and thank you.